Hello, today is Friday, March 26th, and this is another episode of Friday 5 at 5 with Denver Public Library. My name is Lainey. I'm a librarian at DPL's Central Library, and in 15 minutes or less, we'll have you up to speed on 5 new titles we can't wait for you to read or listen to. Join the Denver extension of the CSU Master Gardener program for a 5-part free series through the library this April and May. First up, houseplants, which have experienced a recent surge in popularity, providing those of us spending a lot of time indoors with a much needed mental health boost. Register for this program, scheduled for April 5th at 4 o'clock, as well as the other Master Gardener offerings, from herbs to container gardening to dealing with Japanese beetles, at the link below. And now on to this month's titles. At number 1, we have Mona by POLA OLOIXARAC, print book available now, ebook on Overdrive. A delicious new read full of drugs, disaffection, and literary theory from the Argentinian author of Dark Constellations and Savage Theories. Our title character is a doctoral candidate at Stanford, a position she cynically assumes she was awarded solely on the basis of her Peruvian roots and splashy first novel. She's not as together as she seems. Her follow-up to that first novel is Sputtering, and while she may be en route to receive an award at a prestigious conference across the globe, she woke up that morning on a train platform in Palo Alto, bruised and devoid of any idea how she came to be. Like Rachel Cusk's protagonist in her Outline trilogy, through OLOIXARAC's protagonist, we hear the grievances and theories of Mona's literati peers, where nods to the threats of technology and Trumpism abound, as well as Mona's own internal monologue, where she sees herself as she suspects others see her. Chic, colorful, and essentially sexual, no more than a passing fancy for a crowd enamored with the business and optics of identity politics. Then a dalliance with one of her fellow conference goers brings memories of her earlier bruising flooding back. Smart and sexy. For more arch, academia-minded fiction, try Hysteria by Jessica Gross or The Seventh Function of Language by Laurent Binet. At number 2 this time, The Jigsaw Man by Nadine Matheson, print book available, ebook and e-audio on Overdrive. This gruesome, already optioned for TV thriller both comes from a criminal solicitor in London and follows one. Meet Detective Inspector Angelica Henley, hot on the trail of a copycat killer whose methods closely resemble those of the Jigsaw Man, so named because of his habit of carving a crescent and a double cross on the bodies of each of his victims. Henley still nurses the figurative and literal scars from arresting the Jigsaw Man 2.5 years ago. He stabbed her during the arrest. And her marriage is on the rocks. She's spending way too much time working, dealing with the myriad pressures a Black woman faces on the job, and her husband suspects her of cheating on him with her boss. Nevertheless, she's got to untangle this new web. Matheson serves up a perfectly suspenseful plot, complete with wit and an excellent cliffhanger. For fans of And Now She's Gone by Rachel Housel Hall and The Chestnut Man by Soren Sveistrup. Next is Brood by Jackie Polzin, print book available and on Overdrive in ebook and e-audio formats. Grief and Chickens. In this smart debut, our unnamed narrator and her husband Percy are working to keep their brood of 4 alive through a harsh Midwest winter. Percy, an economist, is a good man, but absorbed in a promising job prospect, and our narrator finds her hopes of motherhood slipping further and further afield, left more or less alone with her sense of loss. I want something that will not end in disappointment, she says, in reference to a recent miscarriage and her new hobby. She finds she's eager to lose herself in the tangible, tactile work of gathering eggs and living life day to day with her hapless hens. An unexpected, comforting, and terrifying new intimacy. As readers, we are made privy to the narrator's sphere of solitude, where she finds meaning and beauty in the mundane, and an opportunity to nurture outside of the traditional mother-child dynamic. If you enjoy the emotional aptness and quiet intensity of Olivia Lang or Jenny Offel's work, check this one out. It belongs on the shelf next to Sigrid Nunez's The Friend and River by Esther Kinsky. At number 4, we have SARAHLAND by Sam Cohen, available in print and on Overdrive as an ebook. This book was featured on DPL's live Winter Reading Book Buzz. Check out the recording, now here on YouTube, to hear about this title and a bunch of other titles new this winter. Link below. I love this story collection's conceit. Each story's protagonist is a different Sarah, or perhaps alternate universe iterations of the same Sarah, so that Cohen creates a veritable galaxy of Sarahs in a play at probing the multitudinous possibilities of narrative and selfhood. Cohen takes on a range of topics, chief among them gender and sexuality, and how we've talked or not talked about the two through time, and comes at them from various speculative lenses, from alternate history to magical realism to futurism. Sam Cohen's stories rewire the brain, says Andrea Lawlor. SARAHLAND is satisfyingly queer, dirty, insightful, disarmingly generous, astonishing in its craftsmanship, and so funny. One Sarah pursues an MRS degree and is swept into a culture of normalized sexual violence. Another Sarah plays dead for a wealthy necrophiliac. A Buffy-loving Sarah uses fan fiction to work through romantic obsession. We see, too, a Bible-era trans Sarah, an aging lesbian Sarah literally growing roots, each Sarah a furthering of Cohen's proof that the self is not a fixed thing, and that the urge to define it amounts to little more than a fool's errand. In short, there's more to SARAHLAND than Sarah. If you enjoyed 13 Ways of Looking at a Fat Girl by Mona Awad, or Paul Takes the Form of a Mortal Girl by the aforementioned Andrea Lawlor, pick this one up. Black Girl Call Home by Jasmine Mans is our 5th title today, available in print and on Overdrive as an ebook and e-audiobook. The fun part about this book, a debut from a popular Newark-based spoken word poet, is that there's an audio element just a phone call away for those reading the print or ebook. Though the book is, in a sense, one long poem, it's broken into 6 pieces, each with a corresponding phone number. On the other end, Mans herself reads excerpts from each piece. Listen to a sample at the link below. Drawing comparisons to Gwendolyn Brooks and Sonia Sanchez, Mans unpacks all the trappings of Black girlhood here, delving into questions of queerness, gender roles, race, and belonging within familial and societal structures both. You'll find a range of forms here, as Publishers Weekly points out, from lists to lyric strophes, aphorisms to found language. This book is a treasure trove and a tender calling in to Black girls everywhere. Says Essence Magazine, if your grandmother has ever surprised you by bopping along to trap music at a cookout, you will love Jasmine Mans' work. Enjoy this one with Morgan Parker's Magical Negro, or Homie by Danez Smith. Plus, in case you missed it, check out Stuck, How Vaccine Rumors Start and Why They Don't Go Away by Heidi J. Larson, coming soon in print and on Overdrive as an ebook and e-audiobook. We're seeing claims, many dubious, about the myriad COVID vaccines now available everywhere we turn these days. If you're wanting to fact-check what you're hearing, start at the Center for Disease Control's website, linked below. If you're wondering how these claims gained their foothold, however, this book may be your answer. Larson, professor of anthropology, risk, and decision science, and founding director of the Vaccine Confidence Project at the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine, explores how debates about vaccines' efficacy and safety moved from society's margins to the mainstream, blending with geopolitical conflicts, political campaigns, celebrity causes, and natural lifestyles to win a growing number of hearts and minds. Larson doesn't vilify the questioners. On the contrary, she posits that researchers and public health professionals must consider and adjust their communication to the public's current, complicated relationship to medicine, in which every medical intervention may feel more like a consumer choice than a common good, and in which the diseases vaccines combat may feel more like relics of the past than real imminent threats. Read alongside On Immunity and Inoculation by Eula Biss and Between Hope and Fear, A History of Vaccines and Human Immunity by Michael Kinch. And that's it for this month. Thanks for tuning in to Denver Public Library's Friday 5 at 5. Check out or place a hold on these titles and a whole lot more right now at denverlibrary.org, link below, and be sure to tune in next month for a whole new batch of recommended reads.